they had been gifted an endowment, and so the Biodynamic Land Trust actually bought 4 farms with that endowment. But in order to get that money to work harder, they asked people to invest shares in these farms as well. So the farm in Devon was this little Huxhams Cross Farm, as we called it. And so what we did, they did what they called a community buyout. So, and in order to do that, they needed a farm partner. So we were the farm partner in the mix, and they liked the kind of farming that we did because we were biodynamic, but also we used a whole toolkit of other farming methods that I'm going to talk about. And also Mark there is a psychotherapist, and we do a lot of psychotherapy with children and families on the farm, and they particularly like that. So what they wanted us to be their farm partner, and we went and did lots and lots of talks to get investment in the farm. So people bought shares in the farm. So all in all, I think the farm cost £200,000 to buy, and then needed a barn and a training centre, so that cost about another £150,000. 50% of that was raised through this share offer, so it's a community buyout of the farm basically. We were the first tenants, so the farm was bought in 2015, and we were the first tenants. So what we got was a rather run-down 6 fields with no gates, no water, no buildings, no nothing. And so then it was our job to invest in that to create the farm that is now 7 years old. So, but in the process of doing all those talks, I talked about the methods that we use, the toolkit of methods that we use, and why we used them, and how we were going to make the most sustainable farm that we could possibly make. So just in those short 7 years, our language has changed. We don't use the word sustainable, we use the word regenerative now. But in doing all of those talks, what Martin Large realised, so Martin Large was the founding director of the Biodynamic Land Trust, is also the director of Hawthorne Press. So what he realised when I was doing those talks is that nobody really knew what I was talking about. So they kind of knew a bit about what I was talking about, but they didn't know the whole picture. So what he said was, can you write a book, Marina? So took on the farm in 2015, started writing a book in 2014, and then fast forward, a few years, I thought, we've done the farm now. I'll get back to the book, and then we had the pandemic hit. So so it's been a long 6 years, and basically the farm and the book have followed the same evolution, if you like. So the book basically explains what the farm's about, but also explains lots of other things, I think. So what I thought so that's the context of the book and how it came about. And I I remember being rather baffled at the beginning as to why this would be of any interest to anybody. But I think obviously the times have caught up with this, and suddenly with the pandemic and now the Ukrainian war, not to mention the climate crisis and the biodiversity catastrophe and everything else that's going on, the world is suddenly going, oh my goodness, what do we do? How do we do this? So suddenly everybody's very interested in what I've written in the book, but also as a team that we're doing, and hopefully it might influence a few people to change the way they farm. So why